Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, we're talking about PlayStation 3 emulation on Android with RPCS3. I'm not joking with you. Now, in yesterday's video, we talked about RPCS3's big update, and that was the fact that RPCS3 now works on ARM64, Linux, Windows, and Mac. And in that update, they also talked about RPCS3 on Android and how the team was not working on an Android port, at least not at this time. However, that hasn't stopped people from getting RPCS3 working on Android. Now, like everything I talk about, link will be in the description below right at the bottom. I don't hide my sources. Anyways, this is up over on Reddit Emulation on Android. And taking a look here, they've got a Xiaomi Pad 5 and it's got a Snapdragon 860 with 6 gigs of RAM. And these specs, I would say, are not even close to being premier. Now, it is worth pointing out, and this is very important, this is not an Android-specific build of RPCS3. This person took the Linux ARM64 version of RPCS3 and ran it through an LXC. LXC stands for Subscribe to Mr. Sujano, or Linux Container. To get a Linux container up and running on Android is simple for some and difficult for others. LXC specifically does require root. However, if you use something like Termux, it does not. Now, in terms of overall performance, I would say it does take a hit because you're running it through LXC as opposed to natively running it on the system. However, here, that may change a little bit in Android 16. So back about just 2 months ago, it was reported that Google is preparing to let people run Linux apps on Android, just like Chrome OS. So at a high level here, Google is developing a Linux terminal app for Android, and it will install Debian in a virtual machine. And the running theory here is that it will be a part of Android 16, but there's also a chance it will be a part of Android 15, just with an update. I think this would be absolutely huge, and I think this would be a very interesting way to try to get RPCS3 running on Android. Now, to be honest with you, I've got no real clear picture yet of what overall performance and compatibility is going to look like, or if it's even going to work well at all. But I'm assuming that some more powerful smartphone chips out there might be able to do something with it. I am very curious to see what happens moving forward, and I will be paying attention to the space. Let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comments below. And on a quick side note here, I would say what Google is developing, allowing Linux apps to run on Android, will be way bigger than just something like RPCS3. In my opinion, if Google goes through with this, and I really think they will, considering the value it could add to the Android operating system, I would say it could make smartphones and powerful tablets also work as a PC. I mean, imagine running Android and then also imagine running Linux on ARM with full support for GPU acceleration as well as Linux apps. I would say that would be absolutely amazing, and I am really looking forward to it. Again, let me know your thoughts about that in the comments below. And speaking about looking forward to stuff, next up we're talking about BigPEmu and Steam, and we talked about this one before, but now it's here. Well, at least now you can wishlist it. So taking a look at Steam here, BigPEmu now has its own page. For those who may not be aware, BigPEmu is the first Atari Jaguar emulator to feature compatibility with the entire retail library, along with excellent performance and a wide variety of unique features. In my opinion, this is absolutely awesome. Rich had talked about this one before, and I'm surprised to see it on Steam so quickly. Unfortunately, I don't know the release date just yet, and I don't know if there's going to be a difference here between the Steam version and the version you can pick up right from Rich's website. From my understanding, the Steam version will also be 100% free, just like the version you can pick up from the website for PC. Anyways, let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below, and let me know if you're going to wishlist this. And speaking about Steam and wishlists, next up we're talking about Panadero The Baker. Now, this is an indie game. It's an action-packed 2D arcade action platformer featuring hand-drawn graphics. Armed with your fists or a rolling pin and a variety of bread-based boosts, fend off alien plants, and avenge the bakery they destroyed. Now, I've got one Steam key as a giveaway for this game. There is a demo available, and I do recommend checking it out if you are possibly interested. And to enter the giveaway, it's simple and straightforward. Send me an email with a screenshot of this game on your wish list, and that's literally it. I'll choose one person at complete random in a couple of weeks to receive the one free Steam key. The email must be sent to giveaway@mrsujano.com, and once you do, well, just wait and see, and maybe you'll win, maybe you won't. Anyways, here, let me know your thoughts about El Panadero in the comments below. It's currently on sale for 25% off. Next up here, we're talking about Cyberpunk 2077, and Cyberpunk 2077 just got a very surprise update here, version 2.2. Now, I say surprise update because based on reactions online, a lot of people were pleasantly surprised they released this update for free. Anyways, here they say with this patch, you'll be able to express yourself like never before. It includes over 100 new customization options for V, adds crystal coat compatibility for select vehicle brands, introduces a brand new twin tone color scheme feature for crystal coat compatible vehicles, and more. Photo mode received a major overhaul with new camera options, aspect ratio, light sources, and possible NPCs. Posable NPCs, just to name a few things. Based on the notes here, in my opinion, this is a pretty big update. I mean, there is quite a bit in here, and again, like everything I talk about, link will be in the description below right at the bottom. But I'm liking the more customization options that they're offering here. I'm liking the improvements, and it's nice the game is getting these free patches. Additionally, here for PC, I think a lot of people are going to like this. You will now be able to properly rebind W and S to different actions other than their default settings in the vehicle category. They've optimized the threading system to improve performance by up to 33% on Intel Arrow Lake-based CPUs. And they've added more Razer chroma effects for some sections in Phantom Liberty and romance scenes. And speaking about free updates, next up we're talking about Black Myth Wukong, which just got a brand new update here, and it offers some pretty big stuff like challenge. So they say here, after completing the game at least once, the Destined One can find challenge at any Keeper's Shrine. There are two types of challenge available, Return of Rivals and Gauntlet of Legends. So for Return of Rivals, the Destined One can challenge a former opponent to a duel, choosing from 3 levels of difficulty. And for Gauntlet of Legends, the Destined One can battle against multiple opponents in succession, using customized curses to tailor the difficulty. On top of that, there's been a bunch of bug fixes, a brand new armor set, and even more. Let me know your thoughts about this one. Next up here, we're quickly talking about the Game Awards, which is set to occur tomorrow. Anyways, Jason Schreier, who is an industry insider with a lot of accurate information, says there's going to be 2 really big game reveals. I'm curious to see what those are here, but at the same time, he says people are going to say, holy crap. Now, unfortunately, I don't know what those trailers or announcements are going to be, but as soon as I know more, you'll know more, or you can watch the Game Awards or possibly watch my video afterwards where I talk about stuff that happened during the Game Awards. Or just watch the trailers on YouTube afterwards, because I'm assuming they'll be up. And speaking about trailers, next up we're talking about the Talos Principle Reawakened. From my understanding, this is a remaster of the Talos Principle, which was released back in 2014. I can't believe it's already been 10 years. Anyways, this one is a puzzle game coming in 2025, and the remaster is being handled by Devolver Digital. Now, the original version of the Talos Principle is currently on Steam for 90% off. I'm assuming the price of this one is not going to be anywhere near the price of the remastered version. Anyways, it's got an overwhelmingly positive review score with over 27,000 reviews. I'd probably recommend picking up the original game here for so cheap and seeing whether or not you like it. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below, and if you're interested in a remastered version of it. Next up is a quick heads up here. If you're interested in a Steam Deck OLED, you wanted to save a few bucks, and you don't mind something that's been refurbished, certified refurbished. Anyways, here Steam is now offering refurbished Steam Deck OLEDs, both the 512 and 1TB version. And based on Canadian dollars here, you'll save about $150 off of a non-refurbished one. Valve says here all refurb units meet or even exceed the performance standards of new retail units, although they may have minor cosmetic blemishes, and they have the same warranty as a brand new Steam Deck. So let me know your thoughts about this one. I would say it's not a bad savings overall, especially if you plan on opening up your Steam Deck and modifying it. And speaking about Valve and Steam, next up here we're talking about Linux gaming with Proton Experimental. Proton Experimental just got a brand new update here, and it does have a bunch of fixes and a bunch of improvements. and video game now works. On top of that, they fixed Star Wars Outlaws not being playable on some setups. They fixed Hell Let Loose crashing when joining a server after a recent game update. They fixed Rivals of Aether 2 crashing with Intel GPUs, and even a whole lot more here. Now, sometimes with Proton Experimental, there are regressions over the stable version of Proton, but at the same time here, I usually use Proton Experimental by default. I think it offers one of the best experiences in terms of overall compatibility. If you use Proton Experimental, you'll want to make sure it's updated to the latest version here. Next up here, we're talking about the Nintendo Switch 2, and more rumors about this thing keep popping up here, and I'm assuming we're going to hear more and more about it closer to the point where it's being revealed. Anyways, here it appears we've got a brand new reveal of the system, potentially, and again, no surprise, another blurry image. So here's the tweet a lot of people are talking about. Satisfy accidentally put a trailer up for their upcoming product, the Zen Grip 2, for the Nintendo Next Gen console. And they just showed the Nintendo Switch 2 in it, like straight up. It is blurry though, it's very hard to see, but other people have tried to enhance the image just a little bit. Now, based on this image here, I want to say it's fake, but at the same time there is something worth pointing out. This blurry image of the Switch seems to match quite a bit of some of the other leaked Switch images that we've seen in the past. So I don't know if everybody is using the initial leaked models of the potential Switch 2 and is just building upon it, or if this may be the real deal. Additionally here, it appears that the Zen Grip 2 standalone is still up on Satisfy's website. It's priced at $50 and they say the anticipated shipping is spring 2025. So let me know your thoughts about this one, whether or not this is real or fake or what's going on here. This is not the first Switch 2 accessory that we've seen go live. It's very interesting right now. The Switch 2 is almost like the worst kept secret, like a secret to everyone. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a bunch today. Let me know your thoughts about absolutely any of it in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.